Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing this look for you actually on my little sister. I wanted to do makeup on someone other than myself and she was visiting over the weekend, so I decided to do her makeup. She is really young, she's only 11, so this was just for fun. But yeah, this is the look we came up with using the Alamar palette. And she wanted to do something really glam. I really want to do something really glamorous on her just for fun. So yeah, this is the look we are doing, and let's just get right into it. So I'm starting off by priming her eye with a little bit of concealer. This is the Makeup Revolution concealer, and I'm just applying that with a MAC 286 all over her eyelid, and then I blended it on the inner corner of her eye and a little bit underneath her eye as well. And also through this video, I will be giving some tips as well on applying makeup on other people, so hopefully that'll be helpful for you guys. So I'm starting off with this light orange shade, the lightest orangey yellow from the palette, and I'm starting by working that in the corner of the eye, and I'm going to blend that all the way across the crease. So first thing I want to talk about when applying makeup on other people, I see this a lot from other artists on YouTube that I've watched before and things like that. If you notice, when I place my hands on a client's face and how I'm doing it with her, I just place a finger very lightly if I need to kind of have an anchor or something like that. Sometimes I see people really grabbing onto a person's face, which is super unprofessional. It can be kind of uncomfortable for a customer. So I always just, as you can see, very lightly press my finger onto their head to kind of maybe lift their brow a little bit or keep them in place without like literally grabbing onto the top of their head. So there I just used the two deepest shades and kind of mix them together in the outer corner. And then I'm going to go in with the yellow and the orange and then sort of go back and forth and blend that out to help the deep colors blend in to the crease shades. And just kind of like I always do, going back and forth with the different colors to get a super nice blended look. With this look, I'm keeping the deepness really on the outer corner and then very lightly blending those warmer orangey shades into the crease and sort of over towards the inner corner. And then as you see here, I'm doing the same on the other side. And again, as you can see, my hand is very light anytime I'm touching her face. And I will do this throughout the video. That's how I always do makeup on other people. Even here, I'm very lightly using my thumb to pull up her eyebrow, but the rest of my hand isn't actually touching her head. So here I'm taking that Makeup Revolution concealer again, and I am doing like a half cut crease and then using this little brush to blend it over into the deeper shades before I put the lid color on. And for the lid color, I'm using the kind of light greenish color from this palette. This is dry. I didn't use this wet. It's just like insanely intense color. I love this. One of probably my favorite color from this palette. And so I'm just applying that all over where I put the concealer. And then I am mixing the two deep shades together again, and I'm going to blend those across right where that light color meets the deep colors, and it just helps it fade a little better into one another so there's not like a super harsh edge there where one starts and the other begins.
With my head again, you had your heart set on me, but these feels, they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget.
Next, I'm taking the Stila Glitter and Glow Liquid Shadow, and this is the gold shade called Gold Goddess, and I'm very lightly applying that on the inner corner and just about maybe like a quarter of the way onto the lid area with a flat brush. And then after that, I'm going with the lightest shade from the palette, and I'm using that on the inner corner, kind of layering it over top of that gold glitter and using that to highlight her inner corner a bit. And I'm just blending that into the light green shade and sort of in the inner corner. I'm then taking the reddish brown from the palette in the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm just lightly taking that across the top of the cut crease area. I just wanted to deepen that up just a tiny little bit because I felt like I didn't get enough depth, like right around the edge of that. So I'm just very lightly running that around that little border. And then I'm going to take a makeup wipe. This is a MAC Gently Off wipe. This is the one in the pink package. They're a little more gentle, and using that to clean up under the eye and the wing area. And then I'm just applying these lashes from Kiss, which I will list down below. I think they're number 11. And I applied those with Salon Perfect Lash Glue, which is my personal favorite lash glue. So for mascara, I'm using my MAC in Extreme Dimension. Another thing I notice I see sometimes people do, and you never know, I mean, who knows if, you know, these people are using their own stuff or whatever is going on, but always use a disposable wand when you're putting mascara on someone. I've seen way too many times people going straight from the tube on other people, which is really disgusting. So use a wand, and if you saw, I kind of placed my finger behind the lash so that when I use the wand to apply the mascara, I'm making sure that no mascara gets on the lid, and it also helps to really get the product into the lashes worked in there. So here I'm applying some primer. This is the the Becca Champagne Pop colored primer, and I'm just applying that all over her face with this Morphe brush. And as you can see, I always work from a Petri dish. Earlier in the video, I did work off my hand with that glitter, which I generally don't do. Because she's my sister, it wasn't that big of a deal. I shouldn't have though, to kind of obviously show you better in this video, but I never work from my hand with a client. Even if I've sanitized my hands, I think that's gross. You never know. Someone might not realize that you sanitized your hands, and they may think you're just kind of going straight in with your hand, that they don't know where your hands have been. So I always go off of a Petri dish, some sort of separate like dish, metal or plastic dish, when I'm applying products on someone. So then I'm using the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation Sticks, and I'm using F1 and F6 on her, and just blending those into her skin. This is definitely way full coverage. She didn't need this at all, but like I said, we wanted to go with something more dramatic look. I wanted to give her like a super intense, like beat face kind of look. So that's why we went with more full coverage foundation. But again, like this is obviously like, she's not gonna be wearing this to school. Like this was just for the video. So again, just blending that all over the skin with this Morphe brush. And I did apply some Fix Plus on the brush as well as on her face before I applied this. And it helps that really to blend into the skin a little better and make it more kind of seamless.
But these feels, they come and go, and they come so easy.
Now I'm taking my blending brush just to re-soften the edges of the eyeshadow where any foundation might have gotten on the border. If you notice, when I need to turn someone's face, I very gently press on their chin with my one finger to kind of guide them. You never want to like grab someone's chin. And the same as you can see here, my hand in the back of her head to make sure she doesn't lean her head back too far. Again, very gently, just keeping my hand there. That's like my number one thing, is you want to be like gentle with people, because a lot of people tend to be very grabby and too like intense sometimes when I see them doing makeup on people. So you definitely be nice and gentle. So I'm just applying some F1 of shade of the Fast Base Foundation Stick under her eye to conceal, blending that in with a MAC 224. And then I am taking this MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Light and using that to set her under eye area with the same 224 brush. And there I was just telling her to stop looking up so far, because she was literally like leaning her whole head back to look up, and I'm like, girl, I just need you to lean your head up just a little bit. Now I'm taking Light Plus Mineralized Skin Finish, and I am very lightly applying that all over her face just to set the foundation. And I love this powder. This is like my favorite powder. I use this on all my clients. This is the only setting powder I will use on people, like if they're getting married or anything like that, because it looks amazing in pictures. Next, I'm taking Medium Tan Mineralized Skin Finish from MAC, and I'm using that to bronze her face. And I'm kind of contouring and bronzing around her face, and then also down her neck with this shade.
Tell me why you have to seem so distant when I'm holding you. Your fingertips are drifting away.
This one's brush sucks. In case anyone's wondering, the Morphe M503, M403 sucks.
Not good.
Love the touch, but never love the feeling. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch, but never
Next for blush, I'm taking the PatrickStarrr blush from the Miso Fleek kit, which is the more pink tone blush. And I'm using the lighter pink shade from that duo and applying that on her cheeks. And this is like my favorite part of skin to do on other people. Once I get like the bronzer and the blush, it's my favorite part. I take probably the longest to do this part because I love really making sure all those shades really softly blend into one another, so you really can't tell, you know, where one stops and one starts. It like all just really flows really nicely. For highlighting, I am using the Amrezy highlight from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is probably my favorite highlighter ever. I use it on so many people. I used it on all my bridal trials on Saturday. Like, it's my favorite. So I'm just applying that down the center of the face to brighten up, and then also I applied it on the cheekbones, of course. And then after that, I'm going back to the eyes to finish them. I'm using the orange, light orange shade under the eye first to kind of create like a nice smoked out kind of halo look. And then after I applied that, I went in with the deep reddish shade from the bottom corner of the palette, and then I applied that more so just on the outer corner of her lower lash line. I didn't want the under eye to be too like deep and smoky for this look. I wanted her eyes to be a little bit more like open. So after that, I applied some mascara on her lower lashes and a little bit of Fling brow pencil from MAC. And then I went in with the lips. I'm using here the Bite lip pencil, or not lip pencil, the Bite lip mask. And I applied a thin layer of that. And then I'm going over the lips with my foundation brush. For the lip liner, this I believe is Oh Honey from MAC. It's a Pro Longwear lip liner. And I'm just lining the lips and then filling them in really lightly with that pencil. And then after that, I'm taking the Sephora lip cream stain, and that is shade number 32. I can't recall the actual name, but I know the number is 32. And I am applying that with the lip brush as well. And then finally, to finish the face, I did set with the MAC Fix Plus. My Fix Plus, I did put some of the Amrezy highlighter in it, as well as tan pigment, and I think Blonde's gold pigment from MAC. I mixed them kind of all together into the Fix Plus to make my own custom shade of like a glowy setting spray. So that is all I did, and that is the finished look.